Hey there. Have you ever wanted to read somebody's mind? It's kind of one of the things that my clients accuse me of. How did you know that? Did you read my mind? So I want to tell you how I do that and teach you some tricks that can help you do it too. Who am I? I'm Nancy Ganzekaufer. I'm a business and life coach to service-based entrepreneurs like interior designers, other coaches and consultants, social media marketers, and I'm also a certified body language trainer. Now, as a business owner, you often have to get into a negotiation with a client. Sometimes you're just presenting a proposal, you're pricing, letting them know what you do for a living and how they should value what you do to satisfy their need. But sometimes when you're with a client, you may feel a little awkward and not sure what they're thinking about what you're saying. So this is where I can come in handy because I'm going to teach you 3 body language tips today that can help you read someone else's body language so maybe you can feel like you're reading their mind. One of the ways you can tell if someone is interested in what you're saying is by looking to see if they are fronting, okay? Fronting is when your head, your torso, your toes are all facing the person that you're talking to, right? So if you're noticing that someone is fully facing you, their head, their torso, their toes, they are actively engaged in what you're saying. If they're sort of like off to the side, glancing around, may show that they're not so interested. Now, this seems obvious, but when you get into the mode of relaying information, often you're not even noticing what the other person is doing. And what I want to teach you today is that when you start to notice what other people are doing while you're relaying information, it's going to give you a little secret into what they're actually thinking about you, about what you're saying, about your pricing. So one of the things I want you to look for is, are they fronting with you? Are they fully engaged facing you? And guess what? The mirror into their brain can actually be their feet, their toes. Look to see where their toes are facing. This can be done standing or sitting, but if you are standing and fronting someone, it's giving you a full view of their complete nonverbal signals, right? You can see their hands, you can see their face, you can see their feet, hopefully. And if you take a quick glance down at their feet and their feet are facing the door or facing the bathroom or not fronting with you, like one foot is facing out, that could mean that they are half in and half out of the conversation. And you want to try to get them back into it if that's what you're noticing, because it may seem that they're not so interested. So there's the first tip on how you can start to feel like a mind reader by seeing if someone is fronting with you and seeing where their toes are pointing while you're talking to them. Another thing you can do, which is tip number 2, is to figure out, does the person seem nervous to you? That what you're saying to them is making them a little uncomfortable. How can you tell? I want you to look for self-soothing gestures. What are self-soothing gestures? It's different for everyone, but part of what you can look for are when people start kind of rubbing their arms, doing this with their lips. Some people will twirl their hair as a nervous gesture. Some people crack their knuckles. One of my kids does that. He's always cracking his knuckles. Some people will shake a leg nonstop, right? So rubbing your legs, rubbing your arms, rubbing your face, like when you start to observe these self-soothing gestures, you may be able to get that little insight into their mind that what you're saying is making them nervous. And while you're at it, check out what your self-soothing gestures may be, right? What are yours? I tend to do this when I'm nervous. I have lipstick on right now, so I'm not going to rub it, but I tend to rub my lip a little bit when I'm nervous. Or what else do I do? I think once in a while I also sort of like rub my hands together and crack my knuckles a little bit too. So what are your self-soothing gestures? But more than your own, I want you to start looking to see what other people are doing. If you want to get better at reading people, which you should want to do because you're an entrepreneur, this is another tip that can help you figure out what they're thinking may be different from what they're saying. The last tip I have for you today, tip number 3, is to be able to read their facial feedback. One of the things I want you to start looking for, and this is a little bit advanced, so bear with me here, is microexpressions. Microexpressions happen on someone's face in 3/100ths of a second. So they're hard to spot. But when you start to pay attention to someone's face, you may see a quick grimace, meaning, happy about that. But it happens so quick. I'm not even sure I could do it quick enough. Let me try. Right? It was just so quick. Or if I'm really not liking what you're saying and I'm kind of getting annoyed, I might show a sign of contempt, a split second raise of one side of my mouth. Split second. It's actually 3/100ths of a second, right? So I'm not even doing it fast enough, so it's so hard to do. These micro expressions, discovered by Dr. Ekman in his research, really, when you get good at it, show you exactly what's going on in somebody's mind. They're hard to spot, but if you can start picking up on, obvious ones like, happy is quick, sad, shows downward outside rims of your mouth, right? These are common. You know what happy looks like. You know what sad looks like. You know what fear looks like. But imagine if it just happened like quickly, where the whites of their eyes showed, because that means fear. Start to watch someone's face. I think what happens often is when we're presenting pricing, contracts, service models, and we're nervous ourselves. Sometimes we're not looking at someone's face in order to see what it's doing. But if you start practicing looking for micro expressions, you're going to get better at them. There are 7 of them. I'll bring them out into another YouTube video. But for now, I wanted you to start noticing those split-second facial expressions that people make of disgust or fear or sad, like, I'm not going to be able to afford that. Things like that will help you get a clue as to if what you're saying is pleasing a person. So again, this is a very detailed nonverbal brand lesson, this 3rd tip. But I think for now, all I want you to do is start looking at someone's face. Look up at them once in a while when you're presenting something and see if you can see that they're fronting with you because they're still interested in what you have to say. Maybe they're a little nervous and they're doing some self-soothing gestures that we talked about before, like, right? Anything that's touching them, rubbing their legs, anything that you could see they're nervous about what you're saying, or a split-second micro-expression. And if you're not sure what that micro-expression means, here's a little tip that I use all the time. It's like, I saw a micro-expression. I don't know what it means right now off the top of my head. So what do? I do it myself. What do I feel when I do that? Kind of like annoyed, right? So I don't like what they're saying. I'm in contempt of what they're saying. So if you're never sure about what someone's expression means, my tip would be do it yourself and let's see what you feel, and that's what they're feeling. So that was a really quick overview today of ways that you can start to feel like a mind reader when you're dealing with your clients or anyone in your life, quite frankly. But that's not it. Body language is extremely detailed. Learning to read nonverbal brand is actually, or your nonverbal signals from other people and the signals that you're sending to others, is so much fun. And I have a free webinar link down below for you, so don't miss that. And if you have time, check out the Business Building Boutique that I have, full of free content and some paid, but it will help you run your business in a way that makes you happy, makes you proud, makes you profitable. And that's what it's all about. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on my channel here so that you will get notified of all my new videos. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.